It is fascinating when you find out what people don't know. That sounds really strange, but hear me out, right? Somebody commented this a while ago and I just found it in my screenshots on my phone. And they were like, can you look at the "That's Not How Women Work" Fred or something like that? And I was like, okay. I commented, oh, I've never heard of that, but I'll look into it. I did look into it. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's crazy. So listen, there was this thread on Reddit, and it was like, what was your "That's Not How Women Work" moment, right? So as a woman, what happened to you where you had to explain? Well, you didn't have to explain, or you thought in your head, "That's not how women work." Like, why are you saying that kind of thing? I have some examples here today. You are not gonna believe your ears. So let's get into it. Do please subscribe if you haven't already. Yes, let's just start with the first one. The first guy I dated wanted to go swimming. Oh, I hate swimming. But I told him no because I started my period and felt sore and crampy. You're basically asking someone to work out while they are extremely uncomfortable. No one wants to do that. He asked me if I could finish it, meaning the period, before the end of the day so we could go swimming the next day. I wish it was that easy. You know what? One thing I think is really important to do, especially like, you know, if you're like a straight guy, right? I feel like educating yourself on periods and that experience and what that's like for the sake of your future partner. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's having severe period pains, cramps, you can't just be like, well, why don't you finish your period? Like, it really doesn't work like that and can actually be quite insulting and frustrating. A guy once told me he knew I was a virgin because my boobs were small, and that boobs grow every time a woman has sex. Joke's on him, I'm just a slut with small boobs. But that's not even a possible human situation. Do you know what I mean? It's like saying, yeah, a guy's penis grows every time he showers. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, why would something grow due to something? It doesn't make sense. Someone could reply to it to put, was that man Henry VIII? I'm a man, but I had my own little moment that my wife still teases me about. She was 9 months pregnant with our daughter. Due date was set for her to be induced in about 3 days. 9 a.m. that morning, my son, who was 5 at the time, comes to wake me up. Mummy's in the bathroom, she needs your help. Oh God. Thinking it was some minor thing, I sleepily shuffled into the bathroom to see my wife lean up against the bathtub with her legs spread. If she was going to be induced in about 3 days, you wouldn't think it was some minor thing, right? You'd be a little bit more wary. I don't know, I would be. The baby's coming and I'm panicking, frantically trying to figure out what I need to do. My son was delivered in a hospital by an OBGYN, an OB-GYN, and nurses. I was just a spectator. Well, yeah, what were you gonna do? What were you gonna do? So I called 911 and tried, I feel like you don't need to put a dash in there. Why is he doing that? And tried to explain to them what's going on. They tell me paramedics are on the way, so what do? I tell my wife, okay, an ambulance is on the way, just hold it in for a few minutes while they get there. Sorry. Both the 911 operators still on the phone, like, yeah, that's not how it works. Which I knew, but to be fair, I was in panic mode. Ended up delivering the baby myself, and everything turned out fine. But I'll still kick myself over that one. Some content, 911. Is that her first child? You. No, it's her husband. I had a very amusing convo with a gentleman once. Dude was confused why we would need pads. He asked why we didn't just go to the toilet more often on our periods. What does that mean? What? I don't know what I mean. I don't know. What does he mean? He thought we were able to hold in our period like you do with pee, and pads are only if accidents happen. Oh my God. So his reasoning is that if women would be more careful, we wouldn't need menstrual products. Props to him. He was apologetic after I explained it to him and overall respectful. Okay, so here's logic, right? You think there's a range of products for when women just let their period loose. You know, like they're like, oh yeah, I don't feel like holding it in today, I'll just let it go. That's not even incontinence, you know, where you accidentally let a little bit slip. That's suggesting that women are like, yeah, I don't fancy holding my period. Say, I'm just gonna piss it out. The best situation I can think of was something a friend of mine said once. His sister was breastfeeding and said something like, I don't know if I have enough left, to her baby. So my friend kindly suggested that someone else can volunteer and asked me. I said, well, I'm not lactating since I don't have a baby. And he was honestly shocked to learn that only women who actually gave birth are able to breastfeed. He was convinced every woman just casually has boobs for breast milk at all times. He was 25 at the time. I'll never forget this. Don't we learn that in school? That's something we learn in school, right? Like year 6, sex education. We learn about having babies and how the body changes and stuff. Not as much as we should, but surely you do not think that boobs are just full of milk? Like walking around just with milk all the time? Surely not. I'm at the store with my friend stocking up on pads, tampons, etc. As I'm putting boxes in the cart, my friend starts generally complaining about the prices. Yeah, understandable, so I agree. We finish up in the aisle, and as we're walking away, a full-grown 30-something looking man mumbles, just hold your pee like everyone else. We were so taken aback that we didn't even say anything. I never realized before this moment how utterly dense some people can be. If you have close man friends, or you are a man, Google periods and how periods work, and what's going on down. Maybe this is why, part of the reason why, like, menstrual products like this aren't free. Because men, the people that decide these things for some reason, are like, they can just hold it in. They can just, I don't think they quite understand. I'm a guy, but when our first child was born, we had to explain to my father-in-law, this can't be real. He's had kids, but you don't have to poke holes in the nipples in order to breastfeed. The man's had children. How do you think that works? As well as giving birth, you now have to get 2 nipple piercings. I am baffled. I am baffled at that one. That's the strangest one. When my ex and me discussed how the morning after pill worked, and he was genuinely surprised that women don't know whether they are pregnant a day after unprotected sex. He was sure morning sickness would kick in the day after. So not only was he unaware of how female bodies work, but also how Plan B works. I asked my boyfriend to buy me some tampons since he was going to the store. He sends me a picture of a box showing sizes R for regular, L for large. He asked me if I needed left or right ones. Weirdly enough, I had a woman backup manager at my last job tell me a time when she first started working in my department that she didn't think lesbians got their periods. What? To which one lesbian couple that also worked in the department laughed and told her how wrong she was. I'm glad they laughed. I was just left with this sort of look. Why would lesbians not have their periods? This is so confusing. This is so confusing. I had a guy friend talk to me once about how you can get pregnant from anal. I asked him to explain to me how the sperm might travel up your spine and go back down into your uterus. These people can't exist in the world. Somebody you know what? I reckon, right, when you reach 28, you need to go on a 3 months intensive course about everything like this. Learn it more intensely at an adult stage, because it is crazy just how people don't understand the human body or don't bother to look it up. You have a question about a period? Google exists now. You don't have to actually physically ask someone. There is no reason why people should be this uneducated on the human body, on female bodies, poking holes in nipples to be able to breastfeed, sperm traveling up the spine, pushing out your period, weeing out your period, making your period finish the next day. Why do these people think they know so much about women's periods? Thank you for that suggestion. That was unusual, and I didn't realize this was a thing. I didn't realize people didn't know that much. Sperm traveling up your spine. I still don't get it. I don't get it. How's it gonna go up your spine and then back into your uterus? I don't know. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.